Welcome, darlings. Come join us on the couch again today, because today we're gonna speak about how to work through trying times together as a couple. If you're new here, hello, I'm Bianca. This is Christian. We've been married for 3 years. 2 years.
18, 19, 20, 21. 3 years.
3 years. We've been together for 8 years. So that's it.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like, click the notification bell, share this video if you can think of anyone who it's going to help. If you find it helpful, just save it there in your watch again playlist. And without further ado, let's get started. Just before we start, just a disclaimer, we are not pretending that we are doing everything perfectly. We are still learning, we are still going through the motions, and we're learning with God. God is always pruning us and bettering us, and we are just trying to give you maybe some guidelines that you as well as us can follow, and that could maybe just strengthen you and give you some idea of how to survive and how to just stand together as a couple. So basically, when we go through trying times, there's 2 ways that you would normally handle difficult times as a couple. So
there are 2 ways to handle this difficult times that we are going through. I think the first one is basically if you try to do it for yourself, each guy on his own, that'll never work. It's just straightforward. Don't even try it. And if you are doing it now, maybe try to change something, because it is not working. Believe me, you can't do anything on yourself, and don't try to fix something on yourself. You must ask for help. So basically the second one, and I think that is the only way forward, is through support and just ask for help. Basically ask God if He can help you. That's the main person to speak to and to ask for help. And also friends and family that support you through these difficult times will encourage you to be a better person and ask God easily. Or if you are scared of asking Him, they can help you through that as well. Questions?
you're giving too much information.
Sorry.
Too fast. Okay, so basically the question is, how do you run to God? What does it look like to run to God as a couple in trying times and not drift apart and eventually blame each other for handling it differently? So let's look at the first question. So the first question is, how do you handle it in your own way and include your spouse and work through it as a couple? So what would that look like? So first off, everybody handles trying times differently, right? So some would talk it out, some would crop it up, some would show emotion, so on and so forth. So I would always talk everything out.
Most of the time, yes.
I'm a big chatter and I don't like cropping up. So I would immediately just say everything that I want to say and get it off of my heart. Not always a good thing, because you need to read the moment, but it helps not to explode. You
Don't say anything at all, as you can see. Really quiet person.
He just numbs up, and then I get frustrated because he's not answering or saying anything. So that happens.
Sometimes I learn it's best to just keep quiet in some sense.
So
But yeah.
basically, the first thing that you need to do in the way you handle it yourself and being part of the couple is make sure that the way you are handling the issue is a godly way. It's something that God would say, yes, you're doing a good job. He's not gonna you don't want to feel ashamed of the way you are doing things. You don't want to be negatively impacting the relationship and making the issue just worse. That's not what you want to do. So basically, in everything you do, seek God first. And I'm going to read to you from 1 Timothy 6. I'll just pop it on the screen here. 1 Timothy 6, verse 11 to 12. So it says, "But you, O man of God, flee these things and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and gentleness." So just look at all these things that you need to pursue: righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and gentleness. When you're feeling angry or frustrated or lost. So verse 12 says, "Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, to which you were also called, and have confessed the good confession in the presence of many witnesses." So that's just telling you that you need to have some faith. You need to hold on, and you need to really just
pray and speak to God.
The second thing that you need to do is you need to understand, respect, support each other's way of processing. Okay, so like we just said, we process things differently. So
each of us is a different person, and we like different things and do not like.
So we're gonna just give you an example of how you can support each other in your different ways of processing.
Okay, let's see. Basically, what Bianca.
How you would support me.
Okay, how I would support you.
Yeah.
As I listen to what you're saying sometimes. Well, I listen to you. I'll make a point of it in just really sitting down and listening, and serving you or doing stuff for you, so that you can don't need to be overloaded with work, or basically just doing the dishes, or helping in the house, cleaning some stuff and taking out the trash, like I am actually supposed to do. I talk to you and ask questions, and then
you would basically ask things like, how am I feeling, or what am I thinking, or stuff like that.
Yeah, just in supporting you and just hearing your side of the story, or how you feel.
Just to make sure I stop babbling about
No.
everything.
Main thing is to listen. Yeah.
So basically that comes back to me as well, in giving him space to solve the issue and be the hero, because the guy, but what's that book say? What did that book say?
Needs to be the hero.
Was that the woman kind of wants to be
the damsel in distress?
Yes, but not in a sense that you are weak, just in a sense that you want to be rescued, because God rescues you. So we as women have this want to be rescued in a sense. Please don't think I'm saying that you have to pretend to be a damsel in distress. That's not what it's about. You can just go and read the book Captivating. So it's all about creating a space, or letting him be the hero, if he's capable of doing it, and supporting him in that way. As for example, if I know how to change a light bulb, I won't do it, because I'm going to let him do it, because he's the provider at the home, and he's the one who's going to take care of technical stuff like that. I don't want him to feel useless at home. So just a simple example. Or to explain
Never
that.
changing a light bulb again. now that you can do it?
Anyway, so things that I do to support him is obviously giving him space to fix the issue if it's that type of thing. Any so reaffirmations basically to tell him that it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be alright, trying to be the calm, positive one, trying to be the optimistic one most of the times. Otherwise, when it's about money, it's normally him being the optimistic one. When it's about like life issues or stress, I'm the optimistic one. So that role just hopping around. Giving him space if he needs, because he's quiet and he doesn't speak about any like
Problems that I have.
Yeah, so
Basically.
just giving him the space to work through these emotions and thoughts as well, instead of just ba-ing on him like I want to. And also creating an opportunity to talk, not telling him, like, talk to me. Again, asking questions, probing a little bit at the right time as well, just so that he can work through his thoughts in a way, and also communicate with me, because it's very important to have communication. Then staying calm when he gets mad, and vice versa as well. And then taking an extra load sometimes, so that if it's something physical, that he can fix it, if he has to fix it. So then I would take some of his duties at home to give him time to work on whatever is necessary, or vice versa, obviously. So that's just some ways that we would support one another. So hopefully there's an example that you can use and support your spouse as well. But the main thing that you should remember is to pray for yourself and just be there. Be there for the other person and let them know that you're there when they need you.
As always has been said, is communication is key. Speak to one another. Let them know what is wrong, if there's something wrong, or what you need or what you're feeling.
If you have kids and you've heard about the big feelings tantrum thing, it's like when the baby's crying or your child is crying, just acknowledging them, like, yes, you're feeling sad, it's good, or it's fine to feel sad, it's a valid emotion, but remember, I'm here for you to work through the emotions. I'm here when you need a hug. So doing that for your spouse as well, just being there through the big feelings. And then obviously ask for help, like you said. Like, use your community if you can. Even if you just ask them to pray for you.
Yeah. Or when you be part of a community group, or if you are part of one, ask them to pray for you, or just to be there for you. They will, believe me, they will help.
You don't always want to share with family or close friends, but having a Christian-based group that supports you in that area is really helpful. And the third thing that you would want to do to basically tackle this on your own, as well as supporting your spouse, is just to communicate. Like we said, communicate your thoughts and feelings. Sometimes, if you're not a big talker, it really takes a little bit of effort to communicate, and when you're an over talker, you take some effort to listen as well. So just make a point to say, hey, we are a team. We need to discuss everything as a team, make decisions as a team, and then also discuss what is your expectancies and your needs. Like, what do you expect from them? If I want him to just make a coffee, or no, if I want him to do the dishes, for example, but I don't communicate that and tell him, hey, could you please help out with the dishes tonight? And he doesn't do it, it's not fair to him that I'm gonna get mad at it, or say, you never help me, because I didn't communicate my expectancies and my needs. So really doing that is key. Okay, so the second question that we need to look at is, how does it look like when you are running to God as a couple in trying times? Okay, so step number 1, have faith and trust in God. So you can go read Matthew 6, which is the Sermon on the Mount, I think, yes. From verse 25 to 27, he speaks about, when you worry, can you add 1 cubit to your life? So are you gaining anything by worrying? Is it really going to benefit you by worrying? And verse 34, it's all about like, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow is a different day. I will look after you. I will give you food. So do not worry about tomorrow. So God is there. He's your provider. Just lean on him and trust in him. Have faith that he will provide and he will show you the way and he will just give you what you need. Then you can go to Mark 13 verse 11, which is all about do not worry beforehand, where it's basically that is Jesus is speaking about the disciples who is going to be imprisoned, and he said, don't worry about beforehand about what you're going to do, what you're going to say, because the Spirit will talk for you. The Spirit will work for you. So just having that faith as well. And then in Luke 12:22, it's all about do not worry about your life, because that's God's job. Don't worry about it. You just worry about your eternal life. That's the important part. Focus on that and really have faith and trust in God.
Okay, well, the next step is to remember that everything happens for a reason. Now, normally you don't know the reason from the get-go, but in the end it will make sense. So, but you must focus on that. Remember, everything happens for a reason. Let's read 2 Corinthians 9 to 10, and you have to say here. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. So my strength, God's strength, is made perfect in weakness. So when we are weak, God is working the most in or through us. Therefore, most gladly I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in needs, in persecutions, in distress, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Basically, like in the beginning, if you go through a difficult time and you are weak and at your lowest point, God will be there for you the most.
That's when he works on you the most. When he transforms you and changes your personality and renews your mind. And we've all been through difficult times. So just to remember that there's a reason, some way, somehow, it's going to affect your life or maybe someone around you. So
together.
Now remember, it sounds corny, but praying together is just like, it's a step or a very important for intimacy, which might sound weird, but sex is not the only thing you need to be intimate as a couple. So praying together is a very deep, intimate level. And I also be careful of praying together when you're not married, because you really are connecting your souls and connecting on a deeper level, which is a discussion for another day. So make sure that you are in a godly bond before you start actually praying like that. So it's just a very deep level of intimacy. That's basically what I want to say. And if you'd like to learn more about that, just leave a comment down below and we'll get there. Definitely. We'll discuss that as well. So, first off, you need to pray for God's will, obviously. When Jesus went, when he taught the disciples how to pray, you guys need to watch The Chosen. Like, we cannot recommend it more.
And I said, it's fine, we can watch it, but I never really was into it. And then one day we decided, okay, we have to start now. And then watching episode 1 was like, not really sure what's going on here. So yeah, but we pushed through it, and then episode 2 and 3, and from there on, you're
just hooked.
It's incredible.
It changes the way you read the Bible. Like, just make it so real.
It makes more sense seeing it from their perspective.
So where Jesus actually tells the disciples how to pray. Father name.
Yeah, our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
When he teaches them the Our Father prayer, he basically in The Chosen, they make it so they give it like a step by step, like this is why you say that line. They don't do the whole prayer, it's just the first 2 or 3. But it makes you think through the entire prayer in a different way. Like, why am I saying this? What is the goal of the sentence? So it's not about
just repeating a rhyme.
Yeah, just the words. It's not the words. It's the message or the way that you pray. So the first thing he says is you need to pray for God's will. So, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So he first praises God and gives him the glory and the honor he deserves. And then he says, your will be done above mine. Don't just ignore my will and do your will. So really pray together for God's will. That is very important.
And then you must pray and to surrender all.
Just
that you have, just give your life, give it up to God, and don't just say, okay, I'll give this bit, but the other bit I'll keep for myself because I still need it. I still want it. It's an earthly thing that I need to have. Just give it away. Don't even think about it. It's just surrendering it.
I actually spoke about this in my previous video from Goals and Hopes for 2022. So go watch that if you haven't seen it. But I also talk about where I need to practice to surrender all and give up my control to God. So really make sure that you pray for that as a couple and believe in his trust. Again, trust him. Just trust him. Then ask what you need. God says, when you ask, you will receive. If you ask in my name, I will give it to you. Obviously, if it's his will, but and on his timing. But just ask for what you need. If you need patience, ask for it. If you need guidance, ask for it. When I am very angry at Laura and the dogs for making it more difficult to put her down to sleep, then I just need to pray, and it's very helpful because he wasn't actually at home yesterday when she was so difficult. Yesterday when it took me about an hour and a half to put her down, and I was just praying and just memorizing scriptures while praying, and it was really helpful, and it helped me to stay calm and not lose my temper. So just pray and ask for what you need in the moment. That's very helpful. Remember Philippians 4? I don't know if you actually learned that song when you were little. Like,
how does the song go?
Philippians 4 vers 4. We're blij when they hear. Didn't you sing it?
No.
Philippians 4. Did they?
Not that I can remember.
Really? Oh my goodness. That's sad. So, Philippians 4 verse 37. So, first off, you need to rejoice. Rejoice because God saved you. And no matter what you're going through, God is there and He's giving you what you need. And He's actually already paid for everything. He's building you your home and everlasting life. I mean, you need to rejoice about that. Rejoice in the pain as well, because you're learning something from it. You're growing through it. So rejoice. Then have gentleness, and it's all about being anxious over nothing, or anxious for nothing, because God didn't give you a spirit of fear. So don't be anxious. Just take your anxieties and your worries and your stresses to Him. And then lastly, it speaks about having the peace of God. So really asking for that and believing that you will receive it. So memorize Philippians 4 verse 4 to 7. It's really helpful when you're going through trying times. So make sure you do that.
Yes, do that.
You too. Maybe we should just write it on the mirror so you can memorize.
Yes, we'll do that as well.
Okay. The fourth thing that you need to do to run to God as a couple is to find the joy. It's very difficult to find joy in trying times, but it's important as well, and it helps you to stay positive, really.
Even the small things in life, you need to find the joy in them, because it's the small things that makes life worth living as well.
Like when I'm mad at Laura for taking forever to fall asleep, finding the joy in holding that little body is quite mood changing. Okay, so I'm going to read to you in James. James 1 verse 2 says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials." And then it goes on to say, "knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience." And then you can continue reading because it's very powerful. So, but really just count it all joy in every trial that you go through. Look for the little thing that you can be joyful for, that you can be grateful for, and just see God's hand working, even if you feel like truly hopeless and truly just lost. Just find the joy in what's going to happen when God comes back. That's just something to look out for, and it's something that's never going to go away. So really find the joy.
Also, you can find the joy in the difficult times, but also remember, if the difficult time has passed, also keep finding the joy in the good times as well.
And serving God through them.
Yes. Okay. The last one.
The last thing, what did I do? The last thing that you need to do when running to God as a couple is to listen. Listen to God. Make the time to just sit wherever you hear God's voice best. Sit with your Bible, if that's what you do, to listen. So go sit out in the nature. Go sit in your car or whatever you need to do to listen to God. Just sit and listen. Sometimes He's going to speak to you directly. Sometimes you're going to hear Him loud and clear. Sometimes you're just going to see Him in something else, or
just feel His
else.
presence.
Yes.
Working in you.
Sometimes somebody else will actually tell you what God told them to tell you.
Yes.
So really just listen. Make the time. Sit and listen to God. And it just helps you to recuperate in any way. And that's that.
Well, thank you for listening to us.
So we really hope that this was motivating and actually a guide, any type of guidance that you could follow, when you're going through trying times as a couple, and that it's helpful to you to really stand together, connected as one. So remember to click the like button. If you found this helpful, share it with anyone you think could benefit from it. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos. And if you have any requests, leave them down below.
We will get back to you.
So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for popping by on the couch.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.